Hello, welcome to Dynamics 365 Financial Operation tutorial series. In this series, we are talking about object-oriented programming concept. So in this particular video, we'll talk about constructor. So we'll understand that what is constructor, when we should use, why we should use, and how we should use. We will cover all the thing one by one. So first we will cover the theoretical section, and after that we will move to the practical session to show you how you can utilize it in your project. So without wasting time, let's start. So what is constructor? Constructor is nothing but a special method within a class that is responsible for initializing objects of that class. It is automatically called when an instance of the class is created, ensuring that the object is properly set up before it used. Constructors enable you to perform necessary setup tasks such as initializing member variables and establishing initial state. And this constructor plays a fundamental role in object-oriented programming language, and X++ is no exception. Here in this video, we will dive into the world of constructor in X++, exploring that they are, what they are, how they work, and how they contribute to the creating well-structured and maintainable code. So I hope you understood that what is constructor. So why constructor is actually important? Constructor play a crucial role in OOPS concept as they facilitate the creation of the object. So when you will create the object, you should take the help of the constructor. So in OOPS concept, OOPS programming language concept, they are facilitate the creation of the objects within with a consistent and predictable state. Okay, by encapsulating the initial logic within the constructor, code duplication is reduced and the risk of the using uninitiated object is minimized. So that is very much important. So now we will move to the practical session, how we should create the object. So in this slide we will see how you can create a constructor. In X++ programming language, creating a constructor is straightforward, okay, and it has not the same name as the class name. Here is an example. So if you already know Java programming language, in case of Java programming language, the name of the class name and the name of the constructor name is the same, but here in this case the name of the class name and the constructor name is different. So here in this case, a constructor is a kind of method. Okay, in interview question, interviewer can ask is the class name and the constructor name is same? So the answer is no. In case of X++ programming language, the class name and the constructor name is different. The name of the constructor should be new. Okay, but in case of Java, the name of the class and the constructor is same. So this is the basic template how we can create a constructor. So you have a class name, my class, and inside this class you have to give the identifier, then return type, and after that name. And this is a non-parameterized constructor. There can be parameterized constructor. At that time you have to give the parameter inside this new method, like str a, str b, like this. You have to use the comma if there will be multiple parameter will be there, and inside the second bracket you can write the body of the constructor. So this way you can create constructor in X++ programming language. Now in this slide we will see passing parameters to constructor. Okay, so in the previous slide we have shown that if there is no parameter inside a constructor, how you can do that. Now I will show you how you can pass the parameters to the constructor. Constructor can accept parameters, allowing you to pass initial value to the object being created. This is particularly used for setting the member variable during the object initialization. So what do you mean by the member variable here? So inside a class we can declare parameters, variable, or this is also called the member variable, or we can also call it as a class variable. Okay, so we need to initialize those objects, but how you can do that? We will take the help of the constructor. So you have to create the constructor like this, public void, and after that new should be there. New this is the constructor, and you can see we have two parameters, first name and last name, and this two is actually str, means a string. So here we have given the parameter str underscore first name and str underscore last name, and here in this two line we have given the value of this member variable first name and last name with the parameter passed in this constructor. So this way you can pass a parameter to the constructor. So when we will create the object, that time we will pass the actual value here and here, and this will give, or this will initialize our member variable with this line. So the first name will be this one, and the last name will be this one. So this way the object will be initialized. So I hope this is clear. So in this slide we will discuss that constructor overloading. Constructor overloading is possible or not in X++ programming language. So in X++ programming language, constructor overloading not supports. That means what do you mean by the constructor overloading? If you already know, you have already learned the Java programming language, you may know that we can override the same method or the same constructor with the different parameters. Means what is constructor overloading means? Which means you cannot define multiple constructor within the different parameter list. Okay, so you can see that we have two new methods here, which is actually constructor. We already know that new is kind of a method in our person class. Okay, but in the signature, in the parameter, you can see this is this constructor is actually containing two different parameter, and this parameter, this new method or the constructor actually having the three different parameters. So first name, middle name, and last name. So this type of constructor overloading or method overloading is not possible in X++ programming language. So what you will get the error. So below is not possible, it will throw the error. So this particular code, this whole code you cannot write inside your X++ programming language. This will throw error. And what it will show, it will say that the name new denotes a method and cannot be reused in this context. So this is totally wrong. You cannot write this way. So if you want to if you have a middle name and if you want to initialize, or you want to insert it in your constructor, then you have to put here. Either you can use this one or use this one. So at the same time you cannot use this both. Either you have to use this one, either you have to use this one. But here we have a 3 parameter. So if you want to initialize 3 parameters using your constructor, that time you have to use this one. Or if you want to initialize first name and last name with the constructor, then you have to use this one. But at the same time you cannot use both the first one and second one. Either you have to use first one or the last one. So this is clear, constructor overloading not supports, which means you cannot define multiple constructor with different parameter list. This provide the flexibility when creating the object. That means if we'll create the constructor, this will give the flexibility, but constructor overloading are not supported in X++ programming language. Okay, why they have used this? Because they wanted to create flexibility when creating the objects. So I hope this is clear for you. Now I'll show you practical example how you can create constructor and how you can use it in practical scenario. So for that you have to run your Visual Studio and then you have to create project. So if you don't know how to create project, you can see our previous video. From those videos you can easily get. So if you don't know how to create project, so let's follow me, you will be able to understand. So you have to create new project and then you have to select finance and operation, then give next, and here you just financial, you have to give the project name. So here I'm just giving constructor example, then just click on create. So it will take some time to create the object. So you can see here that our project created. Then you have to add a class. So from there you have to select the code and here just select class, and after that give a name. I am giving the name person, and after that click add. So it will take time to add your project, but if your virtual machine is faster, then it will not take that much time. So you can see that our person class actually added, and to run this class we will take one more class, a runnable class. This time we will take runnable class because it will give us a main method. So I have added this one. So first we will write the code inside the person class. So you can see that I have written some code. You can see there is two different member variable or class variable is there. Then I have created a constructor. How I have created? I have given the specified as public, access specified as public, then return type void, and then new. Then I have passed two parameters, that is first name and the last name, and here you can see that I have initialized that with our member variable first name, and then last name is equal to underscore last name. So it is not best practice to give the print statement inside the constructor, but for the demonstrating purpose I will print inside the constructor. But in real world scenario you don't have to write this code. But at this point of time, for the learning purpose, I'll show you how the constructor is actually initializing the member variable. And after that, in case of constructor, also you can create the static method. So what actually static method do? In the ideal case, you should not expose your constructor to the outside of the class, means in the third party class which is not inheriting or which is actually not part of that class. So for that case you can use the pub modifier to protect it. So you can use it as a protected modifier, and whenever you will make it protector, this time you can use this kind of code. This is also a method, but you can use this constructor in your executable class. So how we can do that, I'll show you. So this code and this code little bit same. If we'll use the new method, then also your object will create, and this is the another way to create object. So here you can see this is a constructor class, but constructor method, which is a static method. So to call this constructor, you don't need to create the object. You directly can access this constructor method. Why? Because this is a static, and from any class you can call this constructor. Why? Because it is public, but you cannot access this new method because I have created this is as a protector. So if this will be public, then you don't need to create this type of constructor method. But if you'll create it protector, so in that case my suggestion will be create a constructor method which is a static. Using this constructor you can easily call it through the outside of the class, and you can see that this is a person. So interviewer can ask that if there is a class person, can I create the method with the same name which is the class having. So in this case you can see my class name is person, and I am also creating a method. The name of the method is actually person. So is this possible? Yes, this is possible. You can do this, but this is a method. Don't think that this is a constructor. Okay, so now I'll show you how you can access this particular class and how you can create object. So for that we have a test class. In this test class we will create the object, and we will access the constructor over here and the method which is present inside the person class. So here you can see that in the first line we are initializing through the new keyword. So person, this is the name of the object, this is the name of the class, and then new keyword is there, and then we are trying to initialize the object for the person class with the value first name is Ruman and the last name is Ansari. But it is showing one error. The error is the constructor for class person is not visible in this context due to the protection level of the class. So if you are giving it as a protected, so this will show the problem. So for that reason you have to make it public. So if you make it public, one person or a developer can easily access the class using the new method. But if this will be protected, then this type of initialization will not possible. Okay, but in case of protected constructor, when the new method is actually protected, that time you can use this kind of code. Constructor, another way to create object. So we already know that constructor is a static method. So person is a class name, there is the name of the object, and after that if we'll give the class name, after that if we'll give the double colon, you can access all the static method which is present inside the person class. So when you will call it, here you can pass the first name and the last name. So this way you can actually call the constructor. So if you'll, and in this middle line you are accessing the method, the name of the method is person. So using this object obj person, you are accessing the person and you are passing the parameter Mushar Mondol, and this is the first name and the last name which is present in this actually person method. So here you can use another variable, like you can use underscore a, also you can use underscore b, but you have to specify here underscore a, and here you have to use underscore b. So maybe for first name and last name this may be confusion for you, but you can use this way. And underscore a underscore b, this is a local variable, but the first name and the last name, this is both our class variable or member variable. So this way you can also call the person method. Okay, so now I'll show you, I'll build the project and I'll run the project. I'll show you the output. So I have to make it a startup object, so I forget to make it a startup object. So you have to just click the right click and set as a startup object, and after that run, because the compiler will not be able to understand which is the starting point or from which class I should actually start the debugging or the execution process. So it will take some time and it will show the result. So our execution process actually completed, and here you can see the result. So you can see there is 3 different results. So I'll explain you each and every point one by one. Okay, so when this object actually created, this time what happened, it will go to the constructor class directly, person class directly, and it will invoke the new method. So it will go directly in this person class, and it will pass the roomman and answeri here, and after that this first name and last name actually it will initialize. Okay, and after that it will print. So for this reason we are able to see that roomman answeri actually printed. And after that what happened, after that object actually called, and after that for this call, the person method will be called, where it will take the parameter Musar Mondol and it will go to below code, and A will be Musar and B will be Mondol, and first name will be Musar and the last name will be Mondol, and it will print Musar Mondol. Okay, and after that this Musar Mondol will be printed. And in the next line, so if we'll go here, the object will be created with the constructor method like this, and it will be initialized with Osman sec, and it will go to the person class, and it will invoke first name as this one Osman and last name will be sec, and it will create a new object and it will go to the new method again. Here it will go here, and after that first name will be Osman and last name will be sec, and after that it will print. So for that reason Osman sec will be printed. So now we will set a debugger point, and I'll show you each and everything one by one, and the follow up the execution of the program. So I hope it will be clear if we'll set the debugger here. So for each and every point, actually I have set the debugger. Now we will start and you'll be able to see the flow of the execution. So I have already explained, but you have to see and you have to practice to understand it in better way. So if we'll set the debugger, it will be easier for you to understand how the program flow actually executing. Now here you can see that all the debugger point actually set. Now I will click this particular button to see the execution process one by one. So if we'll click here, it will directly go to the new method, and if we'll click again, you can see that here in the first name, the first name is actually Roman, and the last name, if you'll hover your mouse over here, you can see the last name is Ansari. Okay, so if we'll click here, so you can see now the first name is Roman and the last name is Ansari. So if we'll go here above, you can see the first name and the last name is Ansari. So this is the execution log of the before you can clear the result. Okay, so if we'll click again, it will execute this one. So in info log you can see that Roman Ansari actually printed. Okay, so for this line, so if we'll click again, it will go to the test class again, and this line actually executed. Now if we'll click, it will go to this particular line, and again it will go where it will go to this person. In the below you can see it actually executed the person method. So if we'll click here, here and here, you can see that A is Musar and B is Mundal, and the first name is now Musar and the last name is now. So you have to click this one, and the last name you can see the Musar, and after that if we'll click, the Musar Mundal actually printed. So if we'll click again, it will go to this particular line, and after that if we'll click, it will go to the next line, and after that it will go to the constructor static method directly. So if we'll click, you can see it actually executed, or it actually throw the flow of the execution to the constructor static method. So if we'll click, so you can see first name is Usman and the last name is Sheikh, and if we'll click here, first name will be, last name will be Sheikh, and if you'll click here, it will go to the new, which is actually constructor, and it will pass the first name and last name, and after that the first name and the last name and the member variable will be got the result or got the value of the first name and last name. After that you will be able to see that Osman and Sheikh actually printed, and after that it will go to the test class. It will go to the person from here actually called, and after that it will directly go to this line which is present in the test class. And after that the program actually executed, and it will show you in the info log in your front end. So I hope this is clear how the program actually follows. And in this Visual Studio you can also see the result in info log. So I hope this is clear for you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope the constructor topic is actually little bit easier for you. In case of inheritance, how we can use the constructor, we'll make the separate video for that. So for constructor, in case of inheritance, you can also use the constructor, and how you can utilize the parent class constructors in the child class, I can also show you, and for this one I'll create a separate video and then I'll upload that. But you have to like and comment. If you feel this is useful, you can share the video with your friends and other members. So thank you for watching this video. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.